Alan Cumming, I am coming for your gig. Oh, I should have saved this outfit for the cabaret video. God damn it, now I have to come up with something else. Hello everyone, my name is Winona J. Fox, the only burlesque performer on YouTube. If you clicked on this video, chances are that you are a fan of the 2010 film Burlesque starring Christina Aguilera and Cher. And you're probably thinking to yourself, oh my god, a burlesque performer reacting to a film called Burlesque. I can't wait to see how accurate this film is to the medium. Right? For better or for worse, this movie is one of the first results that people get when they search the term burlesque on Google. And so I want to look at this film and analyze what do they get right about burlesque and what do they get wrong about burlesque. And unfortunately, they do get a lot wrong, so I'm really sorry. This is going to be a mostly negative review, but I promise that there are some positives that do pop up every now and again. I know I'm not the first to react to this film. Plenty of people have reacted to it. I know that a vocal coach has reacted to it, as well as Jamie French, who is one of my favorite commentary comedians. But I've yet to see any burlesque performers actually react to this film in a way that's accessible to most people. Usually we just kind of tweet about it or post about it on our Facebook or meme about it. And I think it's important for general audiences to understand what this film gets right and what this film gets wrong. In case you, the viewer, ever want to get involved in burlesque or see a burlesque show, you can actually know what to expect from this now. But before we start, I actually do have to define what burlesque is today, because without it, you're not really going to understand why I'm criticizing the film so much. So I have the definition here from Merriam-Webster, which I think exemplifies burlesque in 2025 pretty accurately. Burlesque can be defined as theatrical entertainment of a broadly humorous and often earthly character, consisting of short turns, comic skits, and sometimes striptease acts. You did hear me correctly, striptease. We do actually take our clothes off, and if you've seen this film, you'll know that they don't really do that here. And to be fair, I'm not going to be criticizing the film for explicitly that. I think sometimes a lot of burlesque performers will just jump to that, like they don't do any striptease, it's not real burlesque. But like, you can do burlesque without necessarily having striptease incorporated or without showing anything. So I don't want to criticize the film on those merits alone. I do, however, want to look at the aesthetic of the film and see, like, does it get anything right about the way we live our lives, the way we perform, the style in which we perform, and just give my thoughts on it as someone who has been in this industry for some time. Without further ado, let's react to Burlesque. Okay, I'm taking the top off because adjusting it every 5 minutes, it's too uncomfortable. Anyway, that's going on the floor. I have a little bottle of bubbly that I got because I was at a photo shoot earlier today, hence the glam. I do have a glass, but I didn't want to do it. I always forget that this movie is 2 hours long. How long is Moulin Rouge? Moulin Rouge is the better movie, obviously. Okay, Moulin Rouge is technically longer. It's 2 hours and 7 minutes, but I remember it feeling shorter. I should clarify, this is not my first time watching Burlesque with Christina Aguilera and Cher. I've seen it 3 times now. The thing is, I don't remember a single thing that happens in it other than like the big memed parts. So I don't know if I'm gonna get through the full 2 hours. So you already see like glimpses of the burlesque troupe dancing, and this is the point I'm going to bring up later, which is that I do not like the choreography in this film. Before setting up this whole filming process, I had actually looked up a few of the clips from the movie beforehand, and the choreo pissed me off. So that's going to be something that is going to bug me for the rest of the film, and I'm going to keep bringing it up. Sorry. What we just saw is a shot of like this old woman looking at Christina like she's some kind of whore. And I just find that so funny. Miss Aguilera is wearing like bootcut jeans and her hair is covering her neck. She is not showing off any skin. Like, they're trying to set up that she is like this counterculture girl looking to leave this small town. And she is the most normal looking woman I have ever seen. Okay, alright, so this is our first look at the burlesque performer, and I gotta say, this costume, it's something. It really is something. We got a black bowler hat. We have a striped bra. We have, I think, what is that? Like a sequin corset, a tulle tutu, like a Amazon tutu. And then we've got black and white Beetlejuice striped thigh highs and dance heels. What does her makeup look like? I can't really get a look at the makeup, but like it looks very plain. Like I'm wearing very plain makeup today, but that's because I'm on camera. If I was on stage, I would be painted, mama. Traditionally, burlesque performers in this kind of situation will not wear this. This is honestly not a very nice costume. A lot of really nice curated burlesque costumes include ostrich feathers, patterns that look a little more organic. Like maybe if you're starting out, this is what people would wear, but it's not really what you would wear in a professional setting. Okay, that's another funny thing is that like when you look at the poster, it says like, wait, what does it say? It says like best burlesque show in town featuring. Yeah, it says featuring Nikki, Georgia, Anna, Jessie, Scarlett, and Coco, and it's got a photo. It has a photo of oh god, what's her name? The girl played Anna in Frozen. Oh, I love her. Why am I forgetting her name? Burlesque performers don't just have a name. It's not their first name. Like, we have stage names. It's a lot more like drag, to be quite honest.
Look at this outfit. This says cry for help.
Can I say something?
I don't want you to.
You can have a single name as your burlesque name, like I know with Gigi, for example, but you'd have a full stage name. Like, my full stage name is Winona J. Fox. It's not just Winona.
Tell me what you need. Welcome to burlesque. The triplets crashing mercy. And not your every wish.
In terms of the choreo, it's just so intense, and for what? Like, they're shaking their booties like really aggressively.
But you're ready to confess.
Meanwhile, Cher is just standing and she's just doing very like small moves, and that's like very dignified and very nicely broken down. But the choreographers, the dancers, they're just kind of all over the place, if I'm being honest. Yeah, there's like this one move that they do which is like and like it just looks so out of place in this song. Like even if you had an act that involved backup dancers, they wouldn't be doing much. They would be doing very little, because the whole point of being a burlesque performer is that you are the one thing happening on stage. Like, you are driving everyone's attention. Like, you are the one that people are looking at. So when you have like 10 different dancers all like doing way too much, it's so distracting, and it would make it really hard for the act to flow well. Now, something I think they do get right is Allie's reaction to the performance, which is that feeling, especially if you've never seen burlesque before, you do feel entrapped and enamored by the performance. And in a way, a really good burlesque performance will make you feel like you can just get up and do that. So I think that's something that they nailed, and I'm really happy that they included her reaction.
Who does a girl to flirt with to get from here to up there?
Through that door over there.
Not the bartender immediately telling this random girl from off the street that she can just go backstage. Newsflash, you cannot go backstage when you go to a burlesque show. Before I was performing, I worked at a burlesque bar. I essentially did Allie's path of like, I went to a burlesque show and really got involved and wanted to get involved. So I started by volunteering at shows and then taking classes. And then for like a year and a half, I was a stagehand. So I actually did this path that the movie is putting out there for the viewer. And it just is not like that at all. If a bartender let a random person go backstage, like, they would be fired.
Hello. Oh my God, Nikki.
Showing up late without any notice is very unprofessional. That being said, I think Nikki, played by Kristen Bell, I remembered her name, played by Kristen Bell, actually does a really good job and does a really fun job exemplifying that kind of catty diva behavior. I want to see more of her. I think, if I remember correctly, she's not in this film very much, and I think that's a damn shame.
one shot of Patron.
So this is very common. A lot of people who become burlesque performers usually start as waitresses or as stagehands. That's actually how a lot of people ask, like, how do I get involved? How do I start in this industry? So yeah, pretty spot on, honestly.
Tiffany's. Connie.
Oh, this costume is so ugly. Oh my god, I hate this. This is a cheap version of a good burlesque costume. That's the thing. These are all cheap versions of good costumes. Like the strappy black two-piece is a staple in a lot of burlesque fashion. You can do a lot of latex, you can do leather, you can do pleather, but this is just like a hoochie coochie like lingerie that you find at the sex shop kind of stuff, which like you can use, like there's definitely an aesthetic to that, but if you're doing a Marilyn Monroe Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, like absolutely not. It hurts. And with the costume jewelry too, and I love costume jewelry, but this is not where you want your cheap ass costume jewelry to be. Ugh. The hair is also really flat. Like that's another thing about most of the actresses here, except for I think Christina, Cher, and Nikki, is that they all have like dowdy flat hair. It's not curled, it's not crimped. Like it's just like basic Instagram hair, which again, it doesn't look bad, but it just doesn't look good in this context. I love Nikki. Nikki's working it. Like, Nikki's the only one here who actually knows what she's supposed to look like and what this place is supposed to look like. I hate this choreo so much. It's so not sexy. It's weird. It's weird. The bum 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 ugh. Oh, that like hip into the arm. Ooh, it's ugly. No, I don't like it. Who choreoed this? It's not good.
I like her. I don't like her.
I don't love any of them. She's the best one.
I know.
What is she doing?
I think she's auditioning.
So in traditional burlesque bars, you actually don't audition to be part of the cast. A lot of what burlesque performers do is entrepreneurial. Like it's gig work, it's being your own boss, it's building your own business and your own contacts. So you will create your own act, you'll create your own number, your own choreo with your own costume, and you will send in a pitch to the producer or the booker, and you will usually include a video. They won't ask you to come in and perform a choreo or an act in your space. And then if they like what you have to offer, if it fits a theme night that they're having on a particular day, they will reach back out to you. They will offer you a price. Sometimes it's a fixed price. Sometimes it is a price that you and the producer negotiate on your own. And then they will invite you to come into that show and perform for that night.
Which number do you want to see? I know every single one of them.
You know every single number.
Which one do you want to see?
Say the line, Bart.
Wagon wheel Watusi.
Wagon wheel Watusi. That is an iconic line reading from Miss Cher. And we do stan, and we do love this line. That is a great line. 10 out of 10. That was so bad. That's such a bad piece of choreography. I'm so sorry. They're all acting like she did a great job. That was some of the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. Wow. Terrible.
For the short notice, but I quit.
Okay.
And with my new raise, I will be off your couch in no time.
Oh, honey, if you think that you were making more money as a performer than as a waitress, I've got some disappointing news for you.
What's in that?
Iced tea.
Iced tea my ass. Go home. Allie, you're gonna take Nikki's spot.
She can't dance my part.
Oh yeah, she can and she will.
When he kisses me, I get a thrill, but when he does that wiggle.
You'd think in this scene that, like, Nikki is being replaced by a newbie and it's, like, her big number, right? Like in the Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend number. But it's just not. It's like a trio. There's no solos to speak of. It just, like, is a basic 3-person act, and she's like, this bitch is stealing my spotlight. How will I live? And it's like, girl, go home and do it again tomorrow. This is your job. Okay, so objectively, Christina sounds really good here, right? Like, this is her job. She is a professional singer, she's a professional performer, a professional choreographer, dancer. Like, she is very good.
She's really good.
But this scene always makes me cringe so much because, baby girl, what are you doing? You were just singing into the void. Like, and she's not mic'd. And, like, the point is, like, she doesn't need a mic, right? Like, her voice is that powerful. But, like, if you were to actually do that, they would just continue to close the curtain. In real life, if there was a technical difficulty, which happens all the time, it would just stop, find the problem, reset the show, and start over again. No one would get up and leave, like, the second something wrong happens. They might wait a little while to see if things get back to normal, if, like, 15 minutes have passed and nothing's changed, then they might leave. Or maybe an MC will come out and announce that the show is canceled and they can collect refunds. But, you know, again, this wouldn't happen. This absolutely wouldn't happen. Doesn't matter. And not even in a burlesque context, in a theater context, in a dance context, in any kind of live performance context, they would, you know, they would solve the problem and the show would go on. The show must go on, as they say. The choreo in the Tough Lover part where Christina's singing, that's actually really good. I like that a lot. And I think it's because that one actually is the most burlesque in the sense that you have one performer who is doing the heavy lifting and everyone else is supporting that act. And in that sense, it is very burlesque-y.
Awfully pretty, but too much. See, I like that.
No, I'm not cutting my hair.
Who said anything about you cutting your hair? You can wear a wig.
Where have I been all my life?
The dress is Chanel, the shoes YSL.
This wig is really bad. It looks really synthetic and it's like a hard lace front. Like, it's just not cute. This outfit is interesting because I have seen people wear a version of this outfit, but even so, this outfit looks pretty cheap. I think even today I did a photo shoot with like a bedazzled corset like this and like a tutu. But I don't know, the execution of this just doesn't look good to me.
Way above Sunset Strip, the hills all the way. My rings on my Webster, it makes the heads twirl.
This choreo is probably the most burlesque so far in that it's got a lot of like little kicks, it's got the little flips, the little tease. Like, this actually feels pretty in line with what a lot of burlesque performers would try to attain aesthetically. It's a little too quick, especially considering that Christina's supposed to be singing, and like, I don't know that you could like sustain that vocal intensity like that. Most burlesque performers who do what's called a sing and strip will actually just stand in front of a microphone and then do their reveals like standing in one position, and it's honestly very effective. But this isn't bad. I'm not mad at this, to be honest. That shimmy was rough. It was rough. Like, she had her fists clenched. Like, she could have done like a little soft, like, shoulders back and forth, but like, she just rah.
Hey there, big boy. So, what do you think?
I think you look,
Something I don't like about this film is how much time they spent on the heterosexual romance between Christina and Jack. I'm not saying that they don't have chemistry, and I'm not saying that it couldn't be interesting. Like, it's honestly very common for burlesque performers to date bartenders or to date people in service who work in burlesque bars. I have done this. Shout out to my ex, by the way, in case he's watching this. I just don't really get why they felt the need to include so much of it. We could have been spending more time with Cher and Stanley Tucci and Alan Cumming, who, by the way, is also not in this film very much, despite clearly being the legacy pole.
Got my beer in my truck and my girls with me.
Okay, I know Jamie French already brought this up, but that lash is atrocious. Those, sorry, it's paused. I just gotta look at it. Those like little nubby things on her lash are so gross. They look like insect legs. Ugh, disgusting. The rest of the outfit, honestly, no complaints. It's got fans, it's got pearls, it's got a red lip, it's got a little 50s wave. Very on brand. And I think this is the only number where she actually takes items off and does like a proper striptease. Now, I do need to ask, how did they do that reveal? Because there were no clasps or magnets that I saw on those string of pearls. And it just, whoosh, it got like ripped off. I think you could do this reveal if there was like a mesh panel like all along where the pearls were, and then you had snaps. Then I think that could be very doable, and then you'd have the skin underneath. But the way that it's like just the pearls, I think if you actually tried this, the pearls would like shred and spill all over the stage and be an absolute nightmare to deal with. Okay, Christina's hair and makeup and outfit here, it's a slay. It's a slay. I can't hate. It's beautiful. The lash is great, the makeup's great, the mole's great, the curls are great, the lip is great, the bustier, fantastic, and the shoes are gorgeous. So you know what? 10 out of 10. I cannot say anything bad about this look. I would wear this look. This chair dance number already, I think, is probably peak cabaret burlesque. It's a chair dance. It's got the bowler hat. It's a clear, like, cabaret reference. I'm gonna say it. Hot. Christina's body, banging. The costume with the chair with the little, like, handprints on the boobs and on the butt, also banging. I can't believe I didn't remember this sequence. I think because there's nothing wrong with it. I think, like, the others have stuck out to me because they're genuinely bad. But this one is actually very well choreographed, well sung, well styled. Like, I am very impressed with the quality of this particular number. And I think that's why I don't remember it, because it's the only, like, really, I think, quality one out of all of them. Okay, so this is a beautiful costume. I know that I'm not the first to speak on this. Plenty of fashion YouTubers and people reacting to this film have complimented this dress. Her makeup is also really beautiful. It's the most simple in the whole movie, but it is, again, got that burlesque quality of like the cat eye wing and the red lip. And while there's no striptease in this one, I think it is the most sensual. It is the most present. She's just standing there performing. She's not pulling any tricks. She's just singing beautifully and looking beautifully. If they wanted to turn this into a burlesque routine, what they could do is have her wear some gloves and then have her do a glove peel during the first half and then strip out of the dress in the second half, like a zipper or like just a push off the shoulders, and it could honestly be really beautiful. She could incorporate a boa if she didn't want to show anything. You can do striptease without revealing anything. That's something I've done. It's something that a lot of burlesque performers feel more comfortable with, and I think that this specific number actually would have been a great way to showcase that. It's like almost there. It really is. I can't believe I'm saying that about the simplest number in the film, but I really think it goes to show that sometimes over the top is not always best. Sometimes stripping things down to their bare components and their base elements is really what can bring the point home and make something feel more authentic. But we are finally at the end of the film. Oh no, the wig is back. The wig is back. Why didn't they give her the curls again? The curls looked so much better. Whoever did the curls on Christina, whoever prepped those, I just want to say, you did a good job, and your work is not being appreciated every time they put her in that fuck-ass wig. I see you, I respect you, and you know, if you want to work together, call me. Slide my DMs, okay? I am open to working with you as a fellow curly girl. Oh, why is their hair flat? Why is their hair so flat? They're fully rocking like flat, dry hair and then like a 2000s bump it. Oh, they ruined my baby. Kristen Bell looked so good with the curls before. Why did they do this to her? There was potential in this film. There was potential in this film with the hair and the makeup, and they squandered it. They squandered their potential. I'm disappointed. This choreo is really fun, it's really high energy, and it's definitely a showstopper. But I gotta say, I don't think it's that good of a final number. Even though the set is great, the costumes are great, the energy is like through the roof. I think what's lacking here is just like any sense that this is like the big show-stopping number aside from the set design. The song slaps, I really like this song, but the costumes are still kind of minimal. I think it also doesn't help that Christina is not like visually distinct from any of the other performers. She's got the flat wig, she's wearing the exact same costume as everyone else, and considering this is supposed to be like her big show-stopping moment and the end of the film, I feel like her costume should be much more extravagant. I feel like she should be doing reveals, like it should be a gown that then goes into the miniskirt. She should have feathers like on top of her head. I think this is hindered by there being so many dancers, despite the fact that everyone is doing such a good job. Like, the choreography here is genuinely so good and so clean and so high energy, and everyone put in so much work. Like, you can see it on screen. But again, thematically and aesthetically, it just doesn't fit for me. I wish this and Express were swatched. I feel like if you could do this number without the big marquee, that would be really cool at the midpoint, and then you have Express at the very end with everyone doing like that sick chair dance, and then like everyone's involved, and all those costumes are just a little bit more like, even though they're a little cheaper looking, thematically they still work. This one just feels kind of flat, for lack of a better word. I think for what the movie is trying to put out there, like, this is burlesque, this is larger than life, this is bigger than any of you, it doesn't quite stick the landing for me. And considering this is a film with a film budget, not a stage budget, which tend to be much more strict, I'm a little disappointed with the execution. And that was Burlesque. Yeah. This movie's okay. It's fine. I think if you like this film, that's totally fine. It is a really fun film. It has a vibe, to be sure. I do think if you are going to see a burlesque show, do not expect this at all. Be prepared for women taking their clothes off. Be prepared for costumes that are much more extravagant looking. Be prepared for not any fuck-ass wigs. But I do think that there are pros to this film that traditional burlesque might not be able to accomplish. For example, I think the fact that they don't show nudity is actually a pro. I know some people say that that's a con, but I think that makes it a bit more accessible to people who can't quite conceptualize nudity or partial nudity in a live setting. I think if they'd incorporated more striptease without showing anything, that might have actually gotten more people to understand what this medium is about. And that way, when you see it live, it's like, oh, and that's the extra cherry on top, rather than, oh wow, this is totally different. But I would not go to a burlesque show expecting what you see in this film. I think there are other films that give you a better idea of what going to a burlesque show is like, which maybe I'll react to on this channel, who knows. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye!
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my